We're ready.
We
We're live.
ready?
We're
And here we
live.
go.
We're live, sissy. What's happening?
Hey now, Queen.
What it
How you
do?
doing? It
I'm
dudes,
doing
it
great.
dudes.
I am doing great this evening, actually. Doing great, doing great. Was just watching that versus with Too Short and E40. They off the chain with it.
I hear. I didn't get to see it. I was busy today. I was busy today.
Okay.
I didn't
So
spend my Saturday relaxing, reading books like I usually do. I was busy today.
oh yeah, new chapter in life. When you got a new chapter in life coming, that's what you do. You get busy because things are about
Yes.
to change.
You
Change.
know how I like to slide those videos? We just gonna slide into our conversations in the hookah
Let's
lounge.
just slide with it. Is William in?
Willie LeBlanc is here today. We had to postpone his show, so I'm so happy that he was able to reschedule and come back on with us. He's a good one. I've known him for a while. He's one of my bookies, one of my book friends. Very talented. Um,
Yeah, I see that. Like web designer and what is that? Book formatter.
yes, and he makes the greatest like little he makes like little movies. I have him explain everything that he does, but he used to send me these like movies that he was making. So he does so much, and
Mm.
I'm gonna let him talk about himself instead of me doing what I do and just get to gabbing about our guests. You know, I get to run it off at the mouth and let him talk about himself. And I somehow lost my notebook somewhere today, so I'm going off the top of my head with questions tonight. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
give
you're an author. You know what kind of questions to ask. Hi,
and there he
Willie.
is.
Hi,
The
what's
How are
up?
you?
infamous Willie LeBlanc, and he's a notarized author. Like
LeBlanc.
I talk about myself, but this one right here is he's the one I was telling you that you can go from Richmond and be in Italy, or I mean, he takes you from the hood to espionage. I could not get enough, and I have his book sitting next to me because I do read his. He's got the glasses. Yeah, his books are utterly amazing. So one minute you are, like I said, in the hood, and you are like, "Where are we going?" And when I talk about espionage, he takes you there, takes you out of your
So
element. He
it's
had me
global.
so
He take
hooked.
us global, huh?
Yeah, I like to write about like my books. Like I don't like to just keep it like in one specific area. Like I want the reader to feel like they've actually been somewhere. I mean, like
Yeah,
Okay.
my books. I mean, like even if you're reading a book about somewhere that you know about, I want to feel like even if it's like somewhere that you live, I want you to feel like you just saw a whole nother side of your city by reading my books.
Okay. Well, before we get into all of that, can you just give the audience a little introduction of yourself, where you're from, and how long you've been writing, and then we can get into some Q and A's.
Okay,
I
well,
love your locks too.
okay,
Let me
so
put that out there.
I'm a little bit on the exercise, so I'm gonna do it my way. So, okay, what's up, everybody? My name is Will. You know what I'm saying? I'm not William. It's just Willie LeBlanc. I'm an author. I'm a web designer, graphic designer, book cover designer, typesetter, producer, aspiring filmmaker. Um, I do it all. I'm a streamer on Twitch. I play video games a lot. Father of two. Love my kids to death, and I'm right here with you guys. I hope that you guys, you know what I'm saying. I really do appreciate the opportunity for you know what I'm saying for kicking it with you guys on a beautiful Saturday night.
Okay, let's apologize to you also for the rescheduling that we had to do. So we just want to apologize to you for that and thank you for rescheduling and coming back. What are the ages of your children?
Before I get into that, first of all, there's no worries about the rescheduling because
Okay.
my schedule is always open. So when I heard it was technical issues, hey, I was like, you know what, it happens.
Right.
I work with technology all day long, so I truly understand. And my kids, my oldest is 19 and my youngest is 12.
And you look like you're 19 yourself. So wow.
doesn't he?
So that's what's up,
I get
right?
that a lot. I get
Yes,
that
your
a lot.
oldest is 19 and you look like a 19-year-old yourself sitting right there. That's dope though.
Oh yes.
So good. Good ups to you. And wow, and all these accolades that you have. You do everything. And everything goes hand in hand, huh?
Everything goes like I started writing 5 years ago. I had big dreams of like getting the book out there, and as time progressed, I started learning more aspects of the literary industry and everything like that. And I started putting myself with different hats on. I started taking classes to learn how to do different things, trying to learn so that way I don't have. I mean, I still like to support. You know what I'm saying? Other individuals that do the same things that I do, but I wanted to make sure that I knew how to do it myself if push came to shove. And that's exactly what that's why everything kind of sounds like it goes like right with everything because I kind of designed my whole brand around all of that.
That's dope. That's cool.
And you started life over again because you were in college too.
Yeah, I was in college.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in, I'm a little bit on the I guess you can say I'm kind of like on a hiatus right now because well this all happened way before the coronavirus and all of that, but I took a quick hiatus to come take care of my mom who's calling my name in the background, but she I already told her what was going on. Um, she know what it is.
Queen
Um,
mother.
Yeah.
yeah, I still take care of my mama. Um, and but I took a hiatus because I was going to school in Arkansas.
Mhm.
I'm a very well traveled person. Um, I've lived in so many different. I've lived in a few different states and been around the way, so I kind of got an idea of what's going on in the world. But college was always like something that either A I put on the back burner or B I went full throttle. There was really no in between. I never like if I stopped, I stopped. If I was going for it, I was going for it. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm kind of like in full stop mode right now.
So why was Arkansas your choice of going to school?
Um. Okay. Long story short, I have a brother that stays out there. I went out there to visit him for a little while in 2017, and I ended up staying out there. Um, and I'm the kind of person that gets bored real fast. Like
Okay.
when I'm not doing anything, I get bored so quick. And I told him I was like, "Hey, I want to go to school." And I asked him if he can help me, like find a you know what I'm saying find a legitimate school that I can actually enroll in while I was out there. And so he kind of put me in the direction of a couple of different schools. One of them I was very if I had known that that it was an HBCU, I would have definitely went for that one because nobody really told me about it beforehand. So the school that I chose, I mean, I love my school. Don't get me wrong. I love the choice that I made because the classes that I started taking, they really enhanced a lot of the skills that I already had, as well as taught me some new ones.
Okay. Yeah, I was just asking. My family is from Arkansas. They're from Pine Bluff and Little Rock. So that's why I was asking that question. Okay, cool.
Funny you should say that because the school that I go to is in Little Rock. I'm a student of UALR, but
Okay.
the school that I could have went to was UAPB or UA Pine Bluff, which is
Oh,
a
Pine. Yeah.
I could have went there.
Yeah. People get the people in Arkansas kind of twisted, but that's a
Yeah.
whole nother story. So we'll
Yeah,
let
I
them
was
push
gonna
it
say,
up.
was that a whole different world, like to be in Arkansas, from up north, Richmond to Arkansas?
From Oakland to Arkansas, definitely
Definitely.
it was definitely a culture shock for me because I'm so used to the fast life. I'm so used to everything moving at the speed of a microwave. And then when I
Right,
get down there, like everything is all slow and laid back and chill. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not used to this level of chill. Like, I want to, say I'm the kind of person that even if I do chill, I still want something to be going on. And so when I
right,
got to Arkansas and everybody was just kind of laid back, saying, showing that real Southern hospitality that I've heard so much about, I was impressed. I was like, I could probably I could probably rest my hat in this state. But again, like I said, Queen Mom, she got, you know what I'm saying, she needed me around, so I came back on home.
Yeah, I can relate to the culture shock because I'm from California originally, and I moved out here to Charlotte, North Carolina. It's going on 6 years now, so definitely a culture shock. And then when I was a little younger, in my 20s, I moved to Germany. So, that was definitely a culture shock. So I can relate to those culture shocks in different states or even countries.
Yeah, I
So,
can't say that I've been to another country yet, due to some legal issues.
oh yeah,
With the
I feel
way that you write, you haven't been to another. Oh my word! You
due,
got to be
due,
kidding me.
due to some legal issues, I have not left the country yet. So there's
You would
okay.
never know because even with when you're in Miami, I felt like I was in Miami. Like
that.
I've left the country, and I felt like I was out of the country reading your book. So if you wouldn't have said that, I would never know. Kudos.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing. While you were at college, you were doing a podcast. Also, I was always listening to the podcast. You guys were so freaking hilarious. Like the group that you were with. Do you still stay in contact with them, or think about doing another podcast with them?
I do still keep in contact with them. They're like it's real funny how that podcast even came to fruition. Because we're all, well, with the I think we're all, yeah, I think we're all mass communication majors. And one of them, he actually went on to graduate, and he works for a news station out there, or a TV
Oh
station.
wow, that's good.
Um, but what happened was I was going to be writing for the college paper. Now,
Mhm.
one thing, if anyone knows anything about me, I don't I don't like to write on deadlines. I hate deadlines.
Such a rush, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if someone gives me a deadline, they're saying, "Hey, hurry up and finish." And I'm the kind of person I'd be like, "Excuse my expression." I tell them, "You know what? Fuck you. You get it when you get it." That's how I am.
Right.
But I don't tell them that to their face because I'm more of a gentleman than that. But so I went to the advisor for the newspaper, and I was like, "Hey, we're living in a new millennium. Like, this is like going on 2020. Like we should be doing something different here." He was like, "Well, what do you suggest?" I'm like, "Well, nobody's really picking up a hard copy of a newspaper. They're either going online or they're listening to the podcast. They're watching videos or something like that." And I was
Mhm.
like, "Why don't we just put together a podcast?" I'm like, I'll even put, I'll even use my own accounts and everything like that to like publish it if you give me the green light.
Mhm.
And he was like, "Well, there's another guy that's willing to do it with you." I'm like, "Well, send him my way." It took me and the guy roughly about a whole semester to like actually kind of meet each other because our schedules were always conflicting. And I was like, "You know what? When we come back to school after the summer, we're gonna just go full throttle. We're just gonna start it up. I got everything that we need, all the setup. All we need is somewhere to record it." And he was like, "Okay, we'll record it right here on campus." And it's kind of funny that you even asked about them because one of them is actually, they just tagged me in a post on Facebook. I just saw it on my phone. Um, but so the dynamic was, it was just going to be me and him at first, and it was only supposed to be the two of us. But what happened was, it kind of, like, our conversations that we would have um, on the podcast, we will always ask like a couple of other guys, like, "Hey, what do you think about this topic? Or how do you feel about this?" Like, we were always getting information from other people, like how
Mhm.
they would feel about certain things. And so we were like, "Well, shit, why don't you come on and get on with us?" And then like it just kind of took its own life at that point because we never knew what we were going to talk. Well, we tried to have like a list of things to talk about, but we never stuck to that because, like you said, we were always like joking around. It was like, it was kind of like me being the older brother dealing with like two younger brothers, and we were just, and I just had to kind of like be like the older voice, and they were the younger voices, but one of them had an older soul, and it was just like the dynamic was very unique. And I'm, I'm glad that I actually got a chance to work with them on that level, and we're actually thinking about doing like a recap show if I ever go back to Arkansas. So that's kind of in the works right now.
Well, this day and age, you could do it like this. You guys don't have to, especially with COVID, they're learning how to do things. No one is in the same. None of us are in the same state, and we do our show. So think about it. You guys were hilarious. I just enjoyed it. I would try to lay down and listen to it, like get some rest, and I was just cracking up over on my side. I would send little texts in there. You guys would be like, "Oh, she said," because I would be so late by the time I got the message through. But you guys had me on the floor. I could never rest. Like I would stop writing to listen to you guys, and I could never rest. You guys were the dynamics between you guys were just hilarious. I loved it. You guys should really think about bringing that back.
And we had a lot of fun doing it too. Yeah. That's the biggest thing. That was always my biggest thing. Like I wanted us to have enough fun to whereas when we leave college, we'll have something. Even if we left college with a sour taste in our mouth or whatever, I wanted us to leave with something that we can be proud of. That we were the first ones to do it because we were the first ones for that school newspaper to do a podcast. I don't know if they're still doing one, but we were the first.
Oh, that's good. So you set you're trendsetters. You set a trend. Mm-hmm. So somebody copied you because you guys are amazing. I love that. Thank you, OGC.
Thank you,
saw that pop up.
Right.
Look, I don't want to tip over again. I want to get into your books, and then we'll get into your graphic design all day. I can't scream now with the show, and I'll get it back. Why did my son
what you sipping on right there, Willie?
I told him bring his drink.
Right now I'm sipping on some peach Ciroc with ginger ale.
What?
Oh my goodness!
So I'm talking about.
I'm kind of bougie with the wine glass and all of that good stuff.
That's okay. Look, you want to see a bougie wine glass? Look at this bougie wine glass.
I like that.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
You're talking about bougie. Mine, I'm not pouring nothing in yet, but I want to be like Queen, but I didn't get it for myself because Writers for Life gave it to me. Wow.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
See what I'm talking about? Yeah. Yes. But I haven't used it yet. I gotta wait on that. I gotta wait till I put something good in there. I do have my books. Let me get my light back up because it's just been a day for me.
So in the meantime, while she's waiting for that, why did you guys stop your podcast? Because the way everything is now, podcast, YouTube Live, Blog Talk Radio, all this stuff virtual is like the thing to do now. Because the way everything is now, podcast, YouTube Live, Blog Talk Radio.
Is that me?
I don't know. I hear myself in the background. I echo.
That was my fault. My bad.
It's usually me.
I had the YouTube open and I forgot to mute it. So
I learned how to do that too. That was always me. I was having to like, what the heck? But I learned.
I took me back to my dispatching days, hearing myself in the background.
Which one?
You know how the officers would be with their walkie-talkies? You can hear yourself.
Yeah, I hate that. Like I can be on a Zoom call or talking to someone on through chats or whatever, or I can be doing a stream or something like that. And I hear myself and I'm like, yo, that doesn't even sound right.
Right.
Then I realize that it kind of almost bleeds into my feed. And I'm like, yo, that's not cool. But to answer your question, we actually stopped the podcast because again, like one of our podcasters, he graduated like right in the middle, like right when we were like starting to gain a little traction. And we were already expecting him to graduate, so we already knew. And it was kind of like because he was like one of the ones that started it with me. Like it was me and him that started it. Really, it kind of like we wanted to do another one, but because he still wanted to do it with us, but his schedule at the TV station kind of just like took over his life, and I never want to say, hey, don't do that, come do this with us because we're more important. Like we understand that you went to school for that career, so that's kind of why we stopped. I do plan on doing it again at some point. I really do. But it's going to be a lot of different changes in the format because with Zoom and Skype and like you said, Blog Talk and YouTube, there's so
Well,
many
you
different.
hit them with some doozies on your Facebook. Every time I pop on Facebook, you hit them with those doozies. People don't know what to say with those zingers that you put out there. So you always keep it interesting.
I try to. I try to keep the conversations like I try to keep people to. I try to get people to think. Like, because we all have like different opinions and different theories on things, but for example, like last year around the time that of the impeachment trials and everything like that, it was a lot of people on Facebook you would have sworn that everybody woke up on one morning and all of them had a degree in politics with the emphasis on the U.S. government, like because everybody just knew the whole process
and
like,
didn't know it.
They knew how the process was going to work, and so I kind of hit them with a real serious question. I'm like, okay, well, on the off chance that Donald Trump does get impeached and they do remove him from office, who becomes the vice president? And it was so many people saying, "Oh, it's going to be it's going to be the Speaker of the House. It's going to be the Secretary of State." I'm like, no, you're wrong. Like, you definitely have to read the Constitution to understand what the process of the removal of a president. And then everyone was like, "Well, you're wrong." I'm like, "Well, I'm getting it from the document that governs all of this. So you're going to tell me that you can tell me I'm wrong all day. I don't mind." Tell that black and white that it's wrong.
Man, I should have named political porn politics for dummies because I had to. When I wrote political porn, it's the things that people just don't know that. And the funny part is, a lot of it we learned in the 6th grade. But we go on life, and when people argue down on certain things in politics, and you're thinking, 6th grade. You remember when we ran? Everyone thought that we ran for president and vice president and secretary and things like that. It was for a popularity contest. No, they were trying to teach you government. Oh, that's me.
I'm kind
of. Didi has an alarm to blow up everything.
And the crazy part is, I'm looking for my phone, and it's right.
And I'm looking over like, is that my iPad? Because they all sound alike.
Like I'm looking for my phone because I hear the alarm and I'm like, "Where's my phone at?"
Yeah.
Then I
Queen
realize,
knows. If I don't set an alarm for everything, I won't know what to do in life. I'll be walking around aimlessly, like I don't know what comes next. So alarms tell me what to do all day long. And that one was telling me to eat, but not during the show, because I won't eat. Let's talk about Goons, Lady Goons.
That's a beautiful cover as
Ooh,
well.
Weezer.
Thank you.
What is that about?
Shout out to the homegirl Sunny Giovanni for that cover.
Is that who did your cover?
That's who did that cover. Sunny Giovanni.
Did she do both? Because I got both.
She did both.
Wow.
She did both of those.
Goons.
Yeah. Lady Goons.
Lady Goons. That's an interesting title.
And Queen, it's not, you can get through the when you get through the end, you're like, what?
That's the one that started it all.
Yes.
That's every author and Didi here, she can definitely attest to this. We all have that one book that we consider our baby.
Yeah.
My baby. And everyone loves my baby. I just wrote the story and you guys made it what it really is. And I appreciate anybody that has ever picked up any of my books, because without them, I wouldn't do
it. Yeah, this series, right? But then it goes from, well, give me a little taste of Lady Goons before I go into, because you can't stop reading his books. They're addicting.
Okay, so Lady Goons, little history before I tell you about the book itself. So I started writing that book in 2012. I was in a situation that I'm glad that I got out of, and I have never looked back again. I.e., I was in jail. Period. I started in 2012, um, bored out of my mind one day, and I was just sitting down. I had just talked to my girlfriend at the time, and I just started writing a story. Like, I don't even know where the story was going. I really didn't care. Like it was just something to pass time. And I was sending it home to her, and she was like, "Yo, like, where's the rest of this? Like, I need this in my life." I'm like, "What do you mean you need this in your life? This is just something that I'm doing as a hobby." And she kept it all. She kept every single page that I sent to her. And then when I got home, she showed it to me. She was like, "This is what you sent to me. You need to do something with this."
Mhm.
And I kind of read it. I was like, "Yo, who wrote this?" She was like, "Bro, you wrote that shit." Like, what you mean? Who wrote it? You wrote it. It's in your handwriting. And I was like, "Yo, this is something that I would really read on an everyday basis. Like, I can literally sit down and read this book in one sitting." And so I finished the book and I kept going. Like, I just kept writing at it. I didn't even think about putting it out or anything like that. And so I was in a couple of groups on Facebook, and a friend of mine in one of these groups, we became real tight. She's still on my Facebook page. We're real close friends and all of that. Um, she was an author as well. And she was like, I told her, like, "Look, I just wrote a book and I don't know what to do with it." Like, I really didn't. I had no clue what to do with this book at all. All I know is I'm just telling people, "Hey, I'm dropping this book soon. It's coming out, and this is what it's about, and it's not even done." And so she was like, "Well, look, give me a couple of days. I'll reach out to somebody and I'll tell you what they want from me." I'm like, "Okay." And so she, true to her word, she reached back out to me, and she had a publisher that was willing to take a look at what I had. And so I sent it to the publisher. Like, it was a Thursday night I sent it to her. By Friday morning, she had a contract shipped out to me. She didn't even email it to me. She just sent it to my house. Like, I received, like, next day air, she had it sent because
Wow.
she thought it was that good. Um, Unfortunately, that publisher, the one that actually gave me my very first chance, she just passed away about a couple of months ago. So, and it kind like that book right there, the one Lady Goons, that's like, you know what I'm saying, that was her favorite, story. She
Oh,
loved that story
get this
like
book.
no other. She loved that story. She loved everything that I put out. And like, it's like, when I just seeing that book, I'm like, "Yo, I remember how that book first got on the shelf." But to tell you a
And
little
you
bit about,
feel like you're right in Oakland. Go ahead. Oh my, because I'll get to talking. Go ahead and tell us about this
so,
book.
about the book. So the book is about a group of ladies, hence the title Lady Goons. One of them, Nikita, the main, I don't even want to call her a main character because that book actually has no main characters. They're all of my characters are equally important. None of them are like secondary or like shadow characters or anything like that. They're all like main characters. But one of the main characters, I'll call her that, one of the main characters, at the opening of the book, she's just getting released from jail. Something
Mm.
that I'm very familiar with doing. I'm very familiar with walking outside of barbed wire fences. And the story kind of takes, without, I don't want, excuse me, for people that haven't read it, I don't want to spoil it because it just takes off from right there. And what the premise, what my plot is, what the plot of the story is, they want to take over, but they have the squad, they have the resources, but they also have to deal with these other problems that have occurred either before the events took place in the book or some events that do take place in the book. Namely, some people got killed that wasn't supposed to get killed, or someone wants to exact revenge on certain characters. Um, but it just kind of in my mind's eye, I'm telling the story of how either you can reach the top, or you can be on your way to the top and get snatched down a couple of steps. Because just because you're on your way doesn't mean that you're going to make it without any hiccups or without any hurdles that you have to get over.
It's not that fairy tale street life. It's that when you read it, you like, okay, this ain't that make believe fairy tale street life. It's that oh my goodness, street life.
Definitely not no fairy tale.
Sounds interesting.
I definitely can't write the fairy tale type.
No,
because that's not.
And I'm telling you from me, it's not that. It's that real. It's not like I seen something on TV. I read a bunch of hood books. Now I'm gonna write a book. It's that real street life. There's one scene in here like I'm crying, like, oh my! It hits you to where your emotions get into the. When you can write a character, some people write books where the characters are like, oh, okay, that was a good book. Other people write books where the characters make you feel these characters, and when something happens to them, you cry with these characters, like. You hurt with these characters. He gets you to where you like these characters. You feel about these characters. When it's over, you're like, when is the next book? I need the next book. I was fortunate enough to be able to read them both at the same time. But then I was like, give me another book of yours to read. I need another one. And that's when I got, you introduced me to Smoke, right?
I did introduce you to Smoke.
Bam. Oh, my good. I don't have Smoke versus Giggles. I don't have that one. I read that on my iPad. First I got Smoke and then Smoke versus Giggles. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you. You know I don't fan out to too many people. So y'all see me geeking out right now. So we might have to delete this episode. I'm geeking out to him because we did me and they asked me about other writers and I'm like, I'm cocky. I'm like, don't nobody write like me. So I'm geeking out to you and they see me geeking out to you because when I got Smoke and then Smoke versus Giggles, let me tell you how gangster these books are. And they're women. He writes about gangstified women. And like I tell you, they're not fairy tale books. You get into these books and you just, when they end, I would hit him up like, I need another one. I need another one. So I'm telling you, get these books. He makes women strong. He doesn't make women, they don't need to look to a dude like you do need in the streets, you need someone to help you get where you need to go, but they know how to get where they need to go. And go ahead, talk about your books, because I'll just take over the whole show.
And what you're saying is absolutely true because like I get this a lot. Like, why do I make the women in my books so strong and so independent and so gangster? And I'm like, well, shit, if you grew up in Oakland, you'll understand why. because growing up in Oakland, like some of my best female friends are definitely like super gangster. They're like not your, I mean, yeah, they're still women. They still have those raw emotions.
Yeah. And you don't take that away from them. You do a great job.
I can't take that away from him because I know like my mom, like she's still a woman, but she's like probably one of the strongest women that I know on earth. I mean, having 5 boys and being able to raise us all to grown men, that's a feat by itself. So
hats off to your mom.
Man, big ups to my mom. Yeah. I hope if she ever sees this, big ups.
You gotta play it back to her.
Yeah. But so I created these characters with a simple goal in mind, because when I was in jail, a couple of books that I've read a lot of, trust me, I've read quite a few books when I was there. But a couple of books actually stood out to me more than anything. And one of them was by Caleb Alexander, because that's who I found out wrote the books later on in life. It was a series called Deadly Rains. Now, the storyline for that is great. It's about a family of like drug dealing gangsters. But what stood out to me the most is that the little sister, in my opinion, was more gangster than her 2 older brothers. Mm. And I'm like, wait a minute, she's strong. So I found another book. I'm sure that everyone that's into like reading, you know what I'm saying, hood books, if you will, or urban fiction is familiar with Dutch.
Yes.
Angel's Revenge. Like Angel, she kind of reminded me of Princess Reigns. So I'm like, wait a minute, what if I can create a whole group of Princess Reigns and Angels and put them all in the same squad and see what happens? And so when I wrote the book, I was like, okay, this is something serious here. Like, you got the one that's like a mastermind with computers. You got one that's just like she's like the queen pin. You got one that just don't give a damn about who she kills or how she kills them or why she kills them or who's looking. Then you got a set of twins that's more gangster than any one woman on earth.
Which
I
book is
love
this?
those twins.
This is actually Lady Goons.
Lady
wow.
Goons.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that one.
Them twins. Oh my goodness.
And so it kind of, and like the dynamic that I created, like I didn't just make them all Black women either. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Black women. Don't get me wrong, I love them to death. There's nothing more beautiful in the world. But I was like, okay, but why don't I just go ahead and just like put different nationalities and see how that will work? And so now I have a Afro-Cuban, I have a Creole lady, I have a Samoan woman, I have a Japanese and Black woman, I have a Hispanic lady, I have a Jamaican. The two twins, they're just completely Black, and it just kind of came together, and it was just like I left no stone unturned. And by the time I was done, when I read it back to myself, I was like, yo, this is a beautiful thing. But then it hit me at the end of the book. I was like, shit, did I really do that? Like, I had no intention on that becoming a series of books. I just wanted to write one and done. I was trying to be one and done. And so now I'm actually planning on releasing the very last one of that saga, excuse me.
Oh,
how many books of that is it? Is it 2 now?
Right now in that particular saga, there's 4 books, and I'm on the road to completing the 5th one now.
But they branch off because Giggles is in Lady Goons.
Right. So what funny story about that. So I have wrote Lady Goons 1 and 2. I knew I was going to write Lady Goons 3. I definitely knew that after 1 and 2 came out, I knew I was going to have to write a 3rd one because I left it on a cliffhanger. So I got the cover to Smoke from another cover designer. I don't know where she's at. I can't remember who I got it from. And I wrote her story. Now, as I was writing the story, I accidentally, it was a complete accident that I actually put a character from Lady Goons in that book. And so when it first released, you could just imagine that my readers was like, "Oh my God, can't believe you just did that! How's this gonna work? How's this gonna pan out? Like, you have to give us something."
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what to do at this point. Like, and then so someone jumped in my inbox. It was like, "So Smoke and Giggles, how's that gonna work out? What's gonna happen?" I'm like, and I asked him, I was like, "Well, if Smoke and Giggles got into a fight, who would you put your money on?"
Man.
And they were like, that's a tough question. And I'm like, well, give me a couple of months and I'm going to answer that question for you. And so I sat down and I wrote Smoke versus Giggles.
And Giggles is psycho crazy.
Giggles is the one that's just completely and utterly, she's psychotic.
And what's Giggles' nationality?
She is Japanese and Black.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's probably psychotic.
Yeah, she was raised by the Yakuza.
Yeah, and how did you come up with that freaking backstory? See, he gives you the backstory. He just doesn't throw a character at you. You get a backstory. Oh my! I told you.
all of my backstories, like when I create my characters, like I want to know what they've been through, and it's weird because I've never outlined a story, and
That's what mind boggles me because I outlined the story from the time they were born in my head in my notebooks before I write one word. And when he told me he just freestyles his story, I was in awe. As an author, I was in awe.
Like every book I've ever written is just like I'm the way that I figure it out is the way that you guys are going to figure out. Like there's no me sitting down like, okay, I'm gonna put this here, I'm gonna put that there. I just let it flow.
And it flows genuinely. Like you don't when you're reading it, you don't like, what is he talking about? It just really, I mean, that mind of his is freaking amazing. Because like I said, I know my character from beginning to end before I write one word. And he just gets down. He told me that I wanted to hit my computer.
I literally like she knows her characters from birth to end before she writes about it. I don't know shit about them.
That's talent.
Yeah,
utter talent.
Until I sit down in front of my computer and just start typing it out, I have no idea what their life has been like. Like I just tell the story how it comes to me.
And the way you did Giggles, that amazed me when you told, because I think that's when I asked you, like, how do you come up with this? How do you sit and build your character? And you're like, oh, I just sit down and write. I was on my phone. I wanted to throw it against the wall, but that phone cost too much money. Like the way, I mean, her whole, and even when you, with the Chasing Clarice, when you did that one with the Mona Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what is she talking about? Because they have read that book.
I did a lot of research on that. When I say I did extensive research on that. And because of the fact that I'm such a great researcher, because I can find just about anything that I want to write about. And so I wrote the book, Finding Clarice.
That's like a little thriller, you guys. I love Black men who write thrillers.
I have to re-release that book, but that book will be coming back out in 2021. But when I was writing it, I'm like, okay, I started to write a romance novel, and that just didn't work for me. Like I said, I started the way
that's
it started.
A thriller.
The way that the story started out, it was originally in my mind's eye, it was going to be a romantic thriller. That's what it was supposed to end up at. But the romantic side of it ended once certain things happened in the book, and it just became full-on thriller.
Yes.
And
we don't get enough Black thrillers. That one is a great. Oh, you have got to get that. People, it's amazing.
And so about the Mona Lisa, so everyone has seen the Mona Lisa either in pictures or if anyone has ever been fortunate enough to go visit the Louvre in Paris, I envy you, because that's kind of on my bucket list to go to the Louvre, but not to see the Mona Lisa. I actually want to see another painting that they have there. But I knew over the years that the Mona Lisa has been stolen. Mm-hmm. I knew for a fact that the Mona Lisa has been stolen quite a few times over the years. And so when I found out that there was a whole nother version of the Mona Lisa in the world, I'm like, wait a minute, let me backpedal a little bit. Let me get the information on this, because that second Mona Lisa is just as valuable as the original. And I'm like, I want information on that one. We already know where the real one is. Let's clear that out. Let's clear that out of our system and figure out about this other one that nobody really talks about. Mm-hmm. And so it took me maybe 2 weeks to get all of the information that I needed on that particular painting. And then I was like, okay, one doesn't just walk into a museum and just steal it. I want to put this in probably one of the most secure places in the world. Then I started doing researches on like diamond heist and seeing what vaults are like impossible to break into, but have been broken into. And of course, Fort Knox came up, but that was too obvious.
Yeah.
And so I found this place. I believe where's that place at? It's the Diamond District overseas. I can't. The
Oh.
name. It's where according to research
It's the hardest place to ever. I don't think it's been broken into once.
Right, and like the research that I did says that like 90% of all the world's raw diamonds go through this one city.
Right.
And it's just like a diamond district. Like everything down there is based on diamonds. And there's this one place that has a vault that has only been broken into once, and they never found out who did it. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm about to have Clarice break into this vault. And I made her.
And I just thought she was going to get caught.
She was legitimately, I had thought about her getting caught, but I was like, you know what? That would end the story. I didn't want her to get caught yet. I mean, there was more story to write about it. But that was kind of like, and then like it still kind of had the romantic aspect to the whole story because her husband was kind of clueless to everything. He was so in love with his wife that he never really questioned.
I love how they met too. Oh, that's why it was supposed to be a romantic.
Right.
Got you.
Because
okay.
the way that they met, like it was just so cute. Like to me, as a grown man, I can say this and still keep my manhood intact. It was so cute how they met.
Yes, it was.
Like
Fort Knox?
Huh?
No. I'm trying to figure out the one it was in. That should have clicked me right away. I can't remember.
They met right outside of his job. His boss wanted him to go pick up his, like the owner of the company or something like that. And she just happened to be standing there, and she needed someone to take her somewhere.
Right.
And while they're riding along, they're like, you know, saying she's trying to get a feel for who he is, and it was just like she made him lose his job because she was talking about she went straight to his boss and just like gave his boss the blues and was like, you know what, he now works for me. He doesn't need your job. And then he's like, well, wait a minute, like what the hell?
That was so funny. Oh, and she dropped who she was, the boss was like.
And then like so right after that, like she was like, okay, I'm about to take you out to dinner, and dinner consisted of them hopping on a flight going to Greece or something like that.
Yes. That was such a good book.
Are there any other authors in your family, or are you the only author?
I am the only one.
Wow.
Well, let me rephrase that. The only one of my generation. I did a family tree some years ago, and come to find out that there was one other rather famous dude that was an author. And that kind of blew me away to find out that the same person that wrote the Man in the Iron Mask and the Three Musketeers is actually one of my great ancestors.
Okay.
What?
Yes.
That's why it comes so natural.
Yeah, that was why I asked. It's like, yeah, so prolific with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goodness. Yeah. So what do you have coming next for us?
Okay, so I made this announcement a few weeks back, but I can make it right here on YouTube for people that don't know. On Valentine's Day, as a matter of fact, which is
In a few months.
around 2 months from now.
Right.
I have to look at my calendar for the date. Yeah. I will be closing out the Lady Goons saga. I will be finishing up Lady Goons 3 and releasing it on Valentine's Day of next year.
What?
I have to invest in those books.
Oh,
it sounds too inviting.
Then
they're so good.
then in May of 2021, which is close to I'm actually going to try to do this for my birthday. After the book has been out for a few months, what I plan on doing, this is a huge plan for me. I plan on taking all 5 of the books that I have wrote in that saga, which includes Lady Goons 2, Smoke versus Giggles, and Lady Goons 3. I plan on taking them all and putting them into one book in chronological, in the order that they're supposed to be read in, so that if somebody doesn't want to read them individually, they can just get the whole saga in one.
That's smart. One book. Are you self-publishing?
I am well, okay. A friend of mine is actually going to be publishing Lady Goons 3 for me because we both were under the same publisher at the same time.
So why you didn't call me? So are we. I'm just messing with you. I'm messing with you.
When I first got signed, me and her, we were both under the same company. And when our old publisher passed away, I was like, you know what? I want you to publish the last book for me. And
so she's before me. Okay, I understand.
So I'm just gonna do that one under her. Then I have Trap Girls. Then I have a.
I don't know Trap Girls.
That's something new that I'm going to be coming out with.
Okay.
Then I have this other book. It's I don't have a title for it yet. I'm still working on a title, but it's definitely not your average everyday type of book. I'm going completely and utterly psychological on this one.
Oh, that's scary, the way your mind thinks.
You have no idea. When I say this one is going to be completely and utterly psychological, this is going to be very psychological. It's definitely going to be a thriller, but it's not what you think. Like everything.
Well, no, you can't guess your ending, so yeah, I can imagine.
Like even throughout the book, like it's gonna be hard for some people to read because they're not going to understand it. They're going to be like, well, it's kind of all over the place, or it's kind of hard to follow. If you really read the book the way that it's supposed to be read, then you'll be able to follow exactly what I'm doing here. I'm building something up for a very climatic, like mind-blowing plot twist. And it's gonna be really.
You gave me a few of those because I had to text you like, "What are you doing in this book with me?"
Like, that kind of book that I kind of push you right into some old bullshit, and then when I get to this plot twist, I'm gonna snatch you back out, look you in your face, smile, and push you right back into it. Because
vicious.
Oh, we're gonna bring you back for that.
You're gonna be definitely like it's definitely gonna be terrifying. I
don't have me. I'll be like, why? Like, yeah, we got to bring you back because we have a lot of readers that follow us. So we've had a few authors on. So I really wanted you on here because you're more than an author. You do a lot of other things, and that's what makes you. And you have to do the graphics. Oh, your graphics are so awesome. So that I was bragging about getting to watch your little movies that you sent me before you came on, and I'd be like, "Why are you wasting your time? You're so good at this." But then you're so good with the books that you can't let that go. We had a conversation about that. You cannot let that go. It's a gift that's only given to a few.
I've threatened it a few times.
I know.
I have threatened to quit so many times.
Yeah.
And every time I try to quit, like there's always someone that tells me that they can't wait for this next book to come out. And that really makes me feel some type of way when they tell me that.
And maybe the Most High sat you down for a second in prison to get you to write that first book. There's always a reason the Most High does things to people. You have a gift that's not given to many.
A gift that you didn't know you had.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, I mean, I started writing poetry as a teenager.
Okay.
The craziest part is I write some of the most beautiful, romantic, lovey-dovey. You can put it on a Hallmark card and give it to someone for Valentine's Day, or just tell them that you love them type poems.
Start doing some cards. Yeah, you say I read your books and I read your posts and I know you. And you say you write lovey dovey. I'm like,
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that I write lovey-dovey, and but the kicker is I can't write those type of poems unless I'm in a real shit mood. Like I have to be in a really
you're
foul
an
mood.
artist, truly.
Yeah,
Like
I was going to ask, how come you won't write a book of poems? But if you're not always in a shitty mood, then you
right,
can't write a book of poems.
Yeah.
I
So
mean
we don't.
I still have pretty much a lot of my older poems like stored away in a file somewhere that I really just don't want to bust out, because I actually have a plan for those as well.
See, I'm
But
gonna ask you what I asked the last author, because poetry is so personal.
mhm,
Is
Mhm.
that something that's easy to share with others?
yes, it's definitely easy to share with others. For me, I should say, because my poem, even though they're more personal, they come from a different spot than my books do. Like my books come from like a lot of other life um life's what's what I'm looking for, life's paths. I'm gonna use the word paths for this. They come from a different path than my poetry does. Now everyone has already seen what path my books have came from, but nobody has really stopped to wonder, well, did it go? What if it would have went another way? So I do share my poems. Like I can write a poem in like a good 10 minutes and share it with someone, get their feedback, and keep it pushing. But like looking at a painting, or watching a film, or watching something on TV, you only get what the artist or the author is presenting to you for you to interpret on your own. Like I can't tell someone how to interpret my poetry. My books, on the other hand, I want you to receive it the way I gave it to you.
Right.
But the way I wrote it is how I want you to receive it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to poetry, because it's so subjective, I want you to be able to like come up with your own thoughts. Like tell me how I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like let me know what you think about how I approached this situation, or how I wrote this situation, or if I was, or do you think I was referring to someone tangible? Or do you think I was referring to someone in my past, or someone in my present, or someone in the future? And that also gets people to talking about my literary works. And then they were like, "Well, do you have something else that we can read?" And then I'd say, "Hey, you can go find Lady Goons."
Yeah. I don't share my poetry. It's very personal to me. So, but I
And
know a lot of people write books of poetry, and mine, I guess it's just too. Um, I guess it's too me to share.
It's personal, like you said. It's just too
Yeah.
personal.
it's a very personal thing, and I don't knock anyone. I can't tell someone, "Hey, you should share your poems with the entire world." I can't tell you to do that, because for me to tell you to do that is wrong. Because if you wanted people to see it, you would let them see it. Like I want people to know how, what I'm saying? Like I want you to be able to receive my pain through my words.
And that's usually where poetry comes from. A
Mhm.
lot of
Right.
people don't realize that. You don't write a
Right.
poem when you're really happy. I'm so happy the birds are chirping, and yeah, no, I don't.
I mean, for me, it used to be like that. It was like that maybe once. Like a young lady I was dating, she was like, "You know what? I know you write poetry." I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of do." And she was like, "Well, write a poem for me." And so I was like, "Well, I can't write a poem for you, because that's, what I'm saying, that's not something that I do." She was like, "Just do it just once for me." And so I was in a good mood. So I wrote her a poem. She was like, "Is this the best you have?" I'm like, this is what you asked me.
For
I don't
you,
know.
it
The
is.
roses are red, violets are blue.
Like
You
this is
know.
what you wanted me to give you, so I gave you exactly what you asked for.
Yeah.
Don't get mad when I write some mediocre subpar type shit.
Yeah, because
And
you have to dig deep for poetry. Unless, like I said, roses are red, violets are blue. You don't have to dig real deep for, to see you chew. You know what I'm saying? So
but poetry used to be my life way back when. Like I used to, when I would break up with girlfriends back then, I would just like write the most beautiful poem and put it in my notebook.
yeah.
And they would never see it, but other people would. Like my mom, she would sit down and she'd be like, "Well, who you mad at now?" I'm like, "Well, this girl, she done pissed me off." And she's like, "Okay, well, see you in about a good 15 minutes after you blew your steam on your computer."
But she should have known you were going to be a writer after that.
My family at first, in the beginning, they thought that I was going to be a poet, not so much of a, not so
And
much
Arthur.
of a storyteller. They thought that I was going to be a poet. So
Yeah.
when I started actually writing stories, they were like, "Wait a minute, this is not what we expected of you. Like,
Yeah.
where's all this coming from?" So that's kind of what happened. Like, it just kind of evolved into like me telling stories and me creating like characters that you either love to hate or you're gonna hate to love them, or you're just gonna love them all together. You're just gonna hate them all together.
You.
Like, it's up to
That's
you.
what makes you really good if you could write a character that someone just loves to hate. Like, love to, I can't stand.
Like either you're gonna ride with the characters, you're gonna get out the car with because
That's it right there.
they not like their rides are not for the faint of heart.
Right. Oh, this has been so much fun.
Yes. I'm
Oh my
definitely going to
goodness.
invest in those books, though. Lady Goons. That sounds like
Yes.
something I would be really interested in. I
Yep.
like anything that has to do with thugs and gangsters and
Gangsters. That's why she loved me so much.
yeah, because Donald Goines, I love Donald Goines' books. I read all his books.
I have as well.
Yeah, so
You gotta
it's a good
let everybody
author.
know how to get in touch with you. And his books are on Amazon. Really, and he's so popular. Just type his name in, and his books just come up. You gotta you gotta make sure you spell my name right. Put the name of the book, then my name. Just
Oh man.
put his name up. All them books they just fly up.
Wow.
All right, so boom. So if you want to reach out to me, you're more than welcome to reach out to me on Facebook. My name is Willie LeBlanc. You can just type me in. I have 3 different pages on Facebook, but please just come to my main page, and I'll, if need be, I'll redirect you to the other 2 pages. You can also catch me right here on Instagram at _half HALF_God. The same handle is at Twitter. As I stated earlier, I do create websites. So if you want to be able to get a website design, reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. Just hop in my DMs and say, I need a website made. I got you. We'll take care of everything. That includes graphic designs, typesetting of your books, book covers, whatever you need. I am your one-stop shop. Trust me.
Yeah, I one-stop shop.
Also, I don't know if I should just go ahead and do it. Also, I am trying to build my fan base on Twitch, where I stream all of my games and everything that I play on my computer and whatnot. So if you can just be so kind, I don't even care if you watch the streams, just be so kind and follow me on Twitch at C38 Gaming. Also,
I'm gonna tell my son.
C38 Gaming.
C38 Gaming, the number 38. Also on Facebook at C38 Gaming.
My son is a Twitch head. Oh my goodness.
Where did you get your IG name? How did you come up with that? What does that represent?
Okay, so when as a rapper and a producer as well, like she said, I wear so many damn hats. I forget that I even wear them sometimes. So when I was rapping a lot, one of my last stage name that I actually used for my rapping, I should say, was the demigod. And everyone knows that a demigod is just a half god. So I tried to use that name, the demigod, on Instagram and Twitter,
Somebody had it.
but naturally somebody had it. So I just came up with the name the half god because it's still the same thing, but
Okay.
it's also me now.
Interesting.
You know, we're gonna do something special tonight. We always give out a gift at the end of the night. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give you the pleasure of asking a question to our guest tonight, and we're gonna give away a T-shirt tonight. So this is our shirt. It's still all wrapped up, but everyone knows our mask, so you guys know. But you see, I think this one shows a better picture. So this is our shirt tonight, and we're gonna let you ask the question. Can we see that?
I can see that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, because I
Oh,
had a
nice
rough
shirt.
day. We got a rough day today, so we're giving out a
can I
nice
enter
shirt.
the contest? I like that
You,
shirt.
you know what you do? I'll send you one.
Bet.
Okay, so you get a shirt, and then you get to ask the question for the shirt tonight. So here's a shirt. So you ask the question, and whoever answers the question gets the shirt tonight.
Okay. Wow. I get to ask a question, huh?
So they better have been paying attention. Was that rough enough? Was that? Oh, I should have clapped. Y'all better have been paying attention. I like that.
Okay, so boom, I got it. I got it.
Okay.
So, boom. This is gonna be so easy. I promise you guys this will be the easiest question. So, when did Willie LeBlanc, me, this guy, when did I start writing Lady Goons? What year? And I did say when I started writing it.
Yup.
So that's
I know you was listening, Meg. I see you out there.
That's the question.
Hey, YouTube Memphis.
Meg logged on kind of late, though. I don't think she wasn't here at the beginning of
Really?
the show, and YouTube Memphis was not here at the beginning of the show. And those are the only two that we have in our
Hey,
comments.
YouTube
So,
Steve. I said
but
YouTube
we do
Steve.
have
Hey,
others
OG
watching.
Steve.
Okay.
Yeah, and OG Steve.
Ding,
So,
ding, 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 ding,
so
That
while
is
we're waiting, let's give a shout out to OG Steve's mom. We know
Yeah, I
she's
was going to
watching.
say
Hi,
that,
Queen
Queen.
Pat. Yeah, and blessings to you. We hope that you're feeling better, and we hope that you're enjoying your pillow
I know. I
as
saw that
well.
pillow on Instagram.
And also, let's give a happy birthday shout out to Cicely Tyson. She's 96 years young today.
Hey, now.
96,
Miss
yes.
Cicely Tyson. Shout out to the queen of all queens.
Yes, the queen of
Yes.
all queens. She's the queen, the goddess. She's just all of that. She owns the throne. 96
Doesn't
years
she
young
now?
today. Yes. So shout out to
Oh,
her.
I'm going
And
to show off
also
my
the
shirt.
verses with Too Short and E40. Anybody that was watching that was pretty dope. That was fire.
We got matching
Hey,
shirts.
I-
Queen,
can
where's
I
your shirt?
can I say something real quick? Can I just say
Yeah.
Always.
as a Bay Area native,
Mm-hmm.
tonight's verses really hit me in a place
Too
that
short.
I was I was I was dancing all through my house on my way
Yes. How could you not, right?
because that's the music that I was raised up on, and both of those gentlemen, E40 and Too Short, in my book, they are both legends. And Too Short was out there really talking that goat talk earlier. He said that he dropped at least one album in 4 decades. Each decade, that's 40 years. Since 1980 something up until this year, he's been dropping albums every single decade. If that's not legendary status,
Oh yeah, Too Short is definitely a
Oh,
legend.
yeah.
Oh yeah, most definitely. We know Too Short is a legend, and also we have to give a shout out to our producer, the man himself, G-Lew, his
Mr.
daughter's
G-Lew.
birthday. The Atra, I'm not saying it right, but to his daughter, his baby girl, she had her birthday yesterday. Beautiful queen as well. So happy birthday to her as well. G-Lew will come
Happy
on here and correct me
birthday.
with her name, but happy birthday to his beautiful queen as well. So nobody has answered the question, so nobody gets the shirt. So these are our shirts that
Hey.
we got.
Yeah, you got yours. I got mine.
Yes.
Hey. Oh,
So
wrong way. Those are our new shirts. Jesus
yes.
black, ours are gray. Because, he's producer. We're the angels.
Yeah, so we want to thank you for coming onto our platform and blessing us
Yes.
again and
And hit me with
blessings
the
to your
Addy so I can send you your shirt.
yes, and
I
blessings to
got
your prosperity as well. And I'll definitely have to order the how many chapters are those books? Because I'm really not a reader. If I can get this audio, somebody
No, you
please
can.
read it to me.
I told you how to get the ID. Call me. I'll walk you through. The book will play for you. But they're
Okay.
not that. They're not like mine. Mine are like 100,000 words. She'd be like,
yeah,
"Your book be long."
Her books are it's a Webster
I will
dictionary.
I will say this, like my books are so fast paced.
Yeah,
You
that's
you
3 books.
like
Yeah.
you won't even worry about how many chapters it is. You're just going to be worried about what comes next after the last page is
And then
turned.
be like, "Damn it, it's over." Yeah, she be looking at when she gets my books in the mail. She be like, "Damn it, Dee."
She gives me a
you
Webster dictionary. I was like, girl, I don't read like that shit. But
I need to
I
start
have
putting
them.
my books down and make them series because my books be like, man. When they used to go to Q, she'd be like, "Oh my goodness, it's 2 books. You know how much editing is gonna cost? I don't know how to stop. You know me. I'm like, yeah." So I'm learning to start making those series instead of single books. So this was so much fun, sweetie. I really enjoyed myself.
Yes, and I'm already following you on Instagram, so I'm gonna have to go follow you on
Oh, go
Facebook
follow.
now.
And on Facebook. Oh my,
Yes.
you don't go on Instagram as much as I do, but Facebook, you have got to follow him on Facebook. His posts are hilarious. And I know I don't comment much on because you pop up. You're the first one that pops up on when I log on to Facebook, it's always you. But I don't like people to know I'm on Facebook. So I'll see yours and chuckle and then move on because when people see me, they call me.
And see, I like to ask questions that the questions I ask on Facebook, I ask them because nobody else is going to ask them. Like
Mm-mm.
people is, I ask a question that people want the answers to, but they just so scared to ask
Oh
because they
yeah.
want to be quote unquote politically correct.
Correct.
And true, I mean, at sometimes I try to be politically correct, but at the same time, I really don't care what people think about what I have to say. So I just say what I want to say and just keep it moving.
But you ask those questions, like I always say, when I say something out loud, I was like, everybody was thinking it. You ask
Yeah,
those questions everybody wants to ask.
yeah. You were thinking it, you just never spoke on it. Like that's usually how it goes. Like, hey, I know you're thinking this, so let's just go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and we're just gonna go ahead and put this question in your ear because you've been thinking it. I'm just bold enough to say it out loud.
Oh yeah. Did you know Facebook is for those? I just went to church and I'm gonna put up those gospel quotes. And that's what
Yeah,
Facebook is for.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not. I don't put Bible quotes and things like that up on Facebook. That's I may bust out with some Bible information for someone if it pertains to what I'm talking about, true.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna give y'all no quotes. Y'all, we've all read the same book. We know where we all know what it says.
I like to send this to 7 people, and I always tell people don't send me these because I don't do those. I didn't do chain letters in high school. I'm not passing. I have to tell my brother that constantly. Stop sending these to me. I I never got bad luck for not sending a chain letter in high school. Both sides not gonna strike me down for not sending this to 7 people. I ain't got time. I barely got time to open my mail. I was packing. I got 4 boxes of mail I ain't opened. I should be ashamed of myself. You didn't email it to me. I didn't get it. This 2020. About to be 2021. Stop killing trees. So,
I got a lot of material for you guys next year too. So just
we
if you
gonna
follow me
bring
on
you back.
if you follow me on Facebook, trust me, you're gonna get a full dose of everything that I'm putting out. I only use Instagram when I'm quote unquote bored, but
I hardly ever. I'm always on Instagram. I never see on Instagram. Facebook, I think I have too many followers on Facebook.
I don't have enough yet. I'm getting there.
You don't have where you
I don't have
can't
enough.
follow you anymore.
I want so many followers that when they send me a friend request, they tell me that I've reached my limit.
I find that hard to believe. You haven't reached your limit.
I'm about 700 away from there.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine. Because your timeline, every time I see your post, it's like, oh my goodness. That's why I don't jump on. I was like, that was funny, and then I keep pushing because you got a nice little fan base right there. So, but that's good. That's good. I can't wait for you to drop your book. I will definitely share it. You know, I am a sharer though. I am a sharer of books. Anytime I see it, when I'm going through the book clubs and I see books that I like or people that I know, I always share those. Check my timeline. You'll always find a good book. So drop your book so I can share it and buy it and read it. We totally enjoyed you tonight.
I enjoy being here. Thank you guys for the opportunity once again. I mean, I really do appreciate it.
Oh, definitely.
And you can always come back on this channel to look at the interview or tell your friends, homies, your gangster friends, your gangster lady goons, the real life ones that they can come on and check you out on this interview.
I'm gonna definitely pull I'm gonna definitely pull all the lady goons that I know.
And then share the interview because you can always share. We always get repeat watchers. Like after we post it, it always gets extra views. So share it so they can see you.
I will.
So, and when your books drop again, we'll bring you back so we can get your books. Go out and go get Lady Goons. Oh my goodness, and smoke.
My suggestion is, and this is something that I always suggest when I find new readers that love books, check out Lady Goons first, so that you can get acquainted with my style of writing. Because in the past 5 years, my style of writing has not changed. That you're going to get that same level of energy with each and every single book that I write. If you don't get that same level of energy, let me know and I'm going to fix it.
Oh, you won't be disappointed. I was hooked off of Lady Goons and I have read every book he's done. So.
Oh, and one last thing. Also, like I said earlier, Finding Clarice, I'm going to be re-releasing that next year. And I'm also going to be re-releasing The Man in the Mirror. And then I'm going to be
that's the one I haven't read.
Then I'm going to be working on part 2 to that as well. So
okay, get that out so I can say I read all your books. Get that out. Okay. So glad you joined us. Make sure you follow him. Grab those books. They're on Amazon.
They're all on Amazon. Just type in Willie LeBlanc and you'll see.
They come right up. He's awesome. Thank you, Willie.
Yes, Willie. Have a great evening. Peace and love.
You guys too. You guys have a good one.
You too, darling. That was so awesome.
That was very awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good, it was good.
It was. He's a really good author. He really, really is. One of my favorites.
So. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely invest in the books, Lady Goons, because that's something I feel like I can read. I like gangster.
Queen.
Gangster,
when she gets out of jail, I don't want to get a book away, but she puts it down. Even pisses her brother off. I love that book. So, and
what's going on, the real Mac Malone?
Mac Malone.
The real Mac Malone.
You said
The real Mac Malone. I'm afraid to say those words. The real
Don't say. Oh, she said the real Mac Malone.
The real
Queen,
gangster.
you better stop, Queen.
I know, right?
He gonna pop up on screen right between the two of us, like,
Hey,
hey, it's back alone.
let's also give a shout out to Writers for Life Films. You guys got to check
Yes, they
them
won
out on,
awards.
yeah, Amazon Prime Video. Check out, they have all three of their movies on there, their films. They have Frank
Oh,
Blue, Hands Up, Don't
great
Shoot,
movie.
also The
That's my
Council. But
favorite.
their
Oh, and the
soundtrack,
council.
the
I
soundtrack of The
can't find
Council
it.
is on Apple Music. You
I
just
can't find it. I'm
type in The
stupid.
Council and go under albums. It's the first one that pops up now. So
Oh,
yeah,
that okay. Now I'll be
yeah.
able to find it.
Yes,
Okay.
it's pretty. You got to go under albums, but it's a dope soundtrack. I listen to it every day.
It, well,
The
that movie was
songs
so
have,
good.
yeah, the songs have meanings. Yeah, the movie is good. I watched all of them.
They haven't put out
Thursday
anything
night,
bad yet.
huh?
They haven't put anything bad out yet or mediocre. Everything,
Oh
oh,
no,
excuse me, is awesome.
and the list is just going to keep going on and on and on. And then our guest that we had last weekend, Nora Monte Candles, their um, subscribers have went up. Their
Awesome.
yes, they're since the show, they told me since the show they've gotten more followers on IG and their
Good.
orders have went up. So they think
That's
it's
good.
from us, and if it, if it is, then yes, salute to them. Yes, yes. So yeah,
Oh, all praise to the Most High.
all praise to the Most High. So yeah,
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to my sister-in-law. Prayers to her because she lost
Yes.
her sister yesterday to COVID, and she just had her kidney transplant, so she's not able to do too much. So I spoke with her today. She seemed like she was in good spirits, though. So I just wanted to ask people to give her prayers. Her name is Elise Berkeley. If you guys can just pray for her, for the loss of her sister, and also for recovery, a healthy recovery from
Yes.
having a kidney transplant, because, excuse me, any type of transplant
It's
is
dangerous.
nothing to, yeah, it's very
Yes.
serious, and it takes a recovery time. I myself am a transplant survivor, so yeah, yes. See, you learn something new about your
I
sister tonight.
know. You know
So
me and the
yeah,
facial expressions. I gotta work on that. I got
no,
to
it's
be stone
okay.
faced. I'm gonna
Be
just sit here
yourself.
like I'm doing CNN news.
Yeah, that's why it's not good to prejudge and think that you know, because you never know what
Oh,
anyone has been through in life and
I
what
don't
anyone is
prejudge
going through.
anyone, and I don't dislike anyone I don't know. You
Yeah,
can't dis.
yeah,
You're like, oh, I can't stand her. You don't know her.
yeah,
You can't,
yeah.
and you can't judge people because you think you know them. That's one thing that blows my mind. Like, you don't like someone that you really don't know.
Right.
You
And then
can't
someone that
dislike
you
me
think
if you
that you
didn't break
know.
bread with me. Yeah, that's my
Right.
biggest thing is
Or if you
you,
haven't said, yeah, break bread with me, you just
or you
you
don't
don't
know
know
my
me.
life, or you don't know anything about me. I had to tell
Yeah.
someone that at work one day that he constantly said negative things about me to other people. And one day we were sitting side by side because we were on level threes, and I told him, "You don't know me. You don't." What he knew is I wouldn't date him, and he was married. That's what he knew. But
So
I
that's what
said,
that's where all the other BS comes from.
right, and it always is. It's always some underlying measure. But I said, you don't know my life. All you know is I come to work every day happy, I smile, and you think my life is great. But my mom was going through kidney surgery. They had taken half of her kidney at the time. And I said, you don't know my life. You don't know anything about me. But you constantly say negative things about me at work. But these people that you say it to know me, love me, and like me.
Right.
And they come back and they tell me. But that's a lesson for today. Don't speak about people or negatively about people or judge people or say you don't like someone you don't know. If you
Don't
didn't
be
break
so don't be so unhappy with
or
yourself that
right or
you project
judgmental.
onto others, you
Yeah.
know.
You can't dislike somebody you didn't break bread with. That's my philosophy
Hey,
in life.
Writer for Life. Hey, Writer for Life
Hey, Writers for
fam.
Life.
It's so good to
Congratulations,
see
you
you guys.
guys.
Know that you guys have stopped in. Wow.
Yes, we love you guys. You guys are
Yes.
so awesome and amazing.
Infinity. Infinity. Yes,
Yes.
Meg, Queen Meg. Yep, I did. I'm a recipient of a transplant. I'm a transplant recipient,
Well, I
so I
wasn't
don't
gonna
put that out
dig.
there.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
wait till we got off the show.
Oh, yeah. I'll let you know. It's just nothing I
Yeah.
like to put out there because I've been blessed, you know? So,
Always
yeah.
all praise to the Most High.
Oh, definitely
So
praise to the Most High. Most definitely. I have, no one else to praise but the Most High, you
I
know?
do that to my grandson every time that he wakes up from nap or in the morning. He wakes up and he says, "Thank you, Most High, for waking me up." Every
Yeah.
nap, every morning.
I told you what my love bug says. He goes around the house saying, God, Jesus Christ. Like this little 5-year-old kid. Like, God, Jesus. Or, oh my
Ah,
God. And I'd be like, oh my God. I just kind of give him that look like, okay. He's
that's
just, yeah, these kids, the things that come out of children's mouth is so priceless and so real. They only say what they truly feel. You know, they come unfiltered,
that's the
un,
scary part, don't
yeah,
they?
uncut and raw. But most of the time it's truth.
Well, we teach him all the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean
That's
it's
because of
truth.
us.
They
Yeah.
don't know anything about lying, so they come with the truth. You know, when they're young
Oh,
like
they
that.
do lie though. About 5 years old, they start telling. About
Yeah, but
3
they
years old.
like little bitty stupid stuff. It's nothing, big.
It's
Like,
the I don't want to get in trouble. My little
yeah,
grandson, every time I ask him who did it, he tells me my 19-year-old did it. I was like, he did not drink the Kool-Aid. Well, we don't have Kool-Aid, but he didn't drink the Yoo-Hoo. He didn't. He didn't hide my iPhone. That was all you.
we love you guys. Thank you. Shout out to
Yes. Thank you
our writer
everyone for
Q.
joining us, and especially Writers
Yes.
for Life. We love you guys.
Yeah,
Um,
we love you guys. Yeah, very
Everyone
much.
that tunes in with us every Saturday, Queen, that is such a blessing for us.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
blessing. So appreciative of that as well.
or even if
Big
you come
support.
back and watch the show, because you were
Yes.
telling me our numbers go up after we in the show. I know I come
Yeah.
back later and catch the comments. I appreciate the comments that are left behind. It makes
Hmm.
us feel better about doing the show.
Exactly.
Um, it gives us joy to know that the Saturdays that we spend with you, the people that come in that talk to you, that me or Queen or G brings in,
Yeah, that you
because
take out time, your an hour of your day to come in
right,
your evening. It's like the golden time of day. We love
right.
you too, Queen Meg.
Hey, Mega
Yeah,
Megalicious.
yes, 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 yes.
Um,
So
and we
it
try
is.
to find interesting people for you guys to spend the hour with us.
Yes, and if you
That's
have any suggestions, don't feel free to drop it in their DMs. If you have a personal
yes,
contact, feel free to text it or call us and
yes,
ask us what we think about it, and we'll let you know.
yeah,
We'll bring people onto the show. We don't. What is the word I want to use? We don't discriminate against
yes,
anyone or anybody's walks of life coming onto the show because everybody has a story. Everybody
yes,
has a story to tell, and everybody with their stories or their experiences that you can learn from, or you can say to yourself, "Well, damn, why do I get up every morning and complain?" I
that
don't
part.
even have a reason to complain. Look at what this person has been through in life. So yeah,
Oh, I do. I never really understood it, but I would tell my well, I did because my grandmother didn't wake up one morning. She just didn't wake up, so that was my like be grateful you woke up this morning. That's what I would say all the time. Be grateful you woke up this morning. I don't care what hurts. But then the realization was when my mom just didn't wake up one morning.
yeah,
So every time something is bothering you or something hurts, or because we all have aches, ailments, depression, sadness, grief, something is going on in your life. But when you wake up, just be glad.
you got to as soon as you open them eyes, you have to be thankful because
Somebody didn't. Even my
yeah,
stepfather died that way. He didn't wake up. And
yeah,
if it wasn't for my mom, because he called her, even though they were divorced, he called her, they weren't divorced, they separated for like 20 years. Even he called her every morning. They had the relationship. He hadn't called her in like 3 days. My mother sent his sister over to go check on him. And they don't know how long he had been dead. He was sitting on the couch with a beer watching television. They don't know how long he had been dead. So be appreciative that every day you wake up, especially now with this COVID and coronavirus, because another family member and her kids got coronavirus in my life. People that keep saying it's not real, knock it off.
Yeah, please knock it off. Most definitely. Yeah, most definitely knock it out.
And I'm very spiritual, and I walk with faith, not by sight. Yeah, it's real,
You have to walk with faith.
not by sight.
Yeah, you have to walk with faith. When I like to tell people when they say their alarm clock woke them up, it's never your alarm clock that wakes you up. Never, because I've known people that said, "Well, I heard the alarm clock going off and I go in the room." It's never your alarm clock that wakes you up. It's always the Most High that wakes you up. That's why when you open those eyes, you have to say, "Thank you for giving me another day of life." And then
I
whatever else
always,
you want to say after that, then go for it. But as soon as you open those eyes, you have to, and still have the vision to be able to see
yeah,
when I open my eyes. There's so many things to be grateful for.
I always
Um,
have like five. I was like, I have like 3 more minutes,
yeah,
but I've
yeah,
been up since 2:30 this morning. I don't know what is wrong
yeah.
with
You
me.
don't sleep, so
I
that.
know it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
you don't sleep at all.
Can
I
you tell? Look at that.
I tell you what keeps me awake though is the G-Lew show, the after hours. I mean, you're up to like 2, 3 o'clock, damn near 4 o'clock before you know it. It's like, well, shit. I
Well,
need to,
I dozed off from the radio show to the after show. I had dozed off waiting for that little 20 minutes.
because it's always interesting. It's just always interesting. And
Yeah.
lately, he's been having good interviews with
I
guests
know.
on. And this is the after hours. So the after hours is just as good as conversations. All the G-Lu productions
Are all
good
good.
shows to watch. And
Yeah.
anything that you haven't seen, check out the
Go
archives
back.
here on the YouTube.
Yes, that's what I did this morning.
Everything and
Yeah.
anything that he has done is right here. And check out the podcast as well. There's episodes there. Just check out anything that has been produced
A
by,
G-Lu production will
yeah,
never let you down.
man himself, G-Lu. Such an amazing guy, good guy to be acquainted with and to be a part of his productions.
Yes.
Yeah. So G-Lu, where are you? Come back on the screen. Where are you?
G-Lulu, where are you?
We
I keep
need you
telling
to.
him to give me 8 bars on one of his.
Oh yeah, and Revelations will be
I
dropping
was gonna say it, the 22nd,
tomorrow, the 20th.
22nd. I thought
Oh, it's the 22nd. I thought it
wasn't
was
it 12/22?
12/20/20. That's why it's
Oh,
2020.
12/20. Oh, that sounds better.
Yeah, that's why it's
That makes
2020.
more sense.
Okay,
It's
what's up,
dropping.
ladies? I'm back. I was out handling some. I'm back. I'm back.
Well,
Great
you
show.
wiping your mouth. What was you
Great show.
handling?
Nah, great show, ladies. Great show. Great show. Great show as
There's
always.
some
Shout
white
out
right
to
there. Right
yeah,
there is some white. You might want to wipe that off.
right. I
Yeah, it
don't
was
know.
a
I
great
don't even
show.
run the right. I ain't got none of that. But great show. Shout out to William LeBlanc.
Willie
Uh,
LeBlanc.
Willie LeBlanc. Great show. Great show as always. Shout out to everybody who supported. Everybody show love. Great show as always, ladies. And thank you for all the support and all the shout outs and all of that. Shout out to Writers for Life Films who checked in with us for a minute and
I
gave
know,
love.
amazing.
He reposted the stuff on Instagram as well. So shout out to the
That's
homie
cool.
Writers for Life Films. Go get that new soundtrack they got out on
Yes,
all
I'm gonna get
digital
it now.
platforms. It is banging.
She
Isn't
said
it
it's
Go
gonna.
banging,
support that
G-Lu?
and
It
Hey,
is
support
banging.
put
the
in the
council as
comments,
well.
Queen, because I can't write anything. Put in the
Yeah, go
comments how to
support
get
that
it.
ASAP. It's out there everywhere on all platforms. Follow Writers for Life Films, Writers for Life. What's the music? What's the Writers
It's
for Life
called The
record?
Councilman.
No, the records. They got another one too. Writers for Life
It's Writer
records.
for Life Records.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
follow that too.
everything
Willie
is Writer
LeBlanc,
for
much
Life.
love, homeboy.
And
Great, great
how do you
episode.
pronounce your daughter's
Next,
name? Because I didn't pronounce
Deidre.
it
You
correct.
like Deidre.
It's
Deidre.
Deetra because when you be saying the song, you be saying Deetranada. So it's
No,
Deetra.
I just say D. I call her D, but her name Deidre. Deidre
Okay.
Alyssa. Deidre Alyssa. You
Maybe
know what I mean?
that's what I be hearing, that part right
Yeah.
there.
Deidre Alyssa House. That's my
So it's
baby.
Deetra.
Happy
Okay, yeah.
birthday. She getting old. I ain't gonna call her name, her age. I'm gonna sound old. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I
But
stopped doing
shout out
with
to my
my
baby
kids'
girl,
age.
man. She doing great things. Shout out to her. She's listening. Love you, baby. Shout out to
And
everybody who
Willie
tuned in
says
tonight. You
big
already know what they
thanks.
do. Revelations coming out 12/20. That's like a Sunday. So Sunday night,
Thanks, Willie. You are
it'll
the
be there.
greatest. We're so
Yeah,
happy to
really.
have you here.
Revelation 2020. Go grab that. It's gonna be on all digital platforms. You dig? And
So
next week, don't sleep. Next week on
That's
conversations
you.
they may have with player like G-Lew up on here, and we're gonna talk about it all. They're gonna ask me whatever they want to ask me, and we're gonna talk about the whole
and this
thing.
is
And
So
gonna
you
be
cannot
make sure
plead
you
the
tune in.
fifth.
You don't want to miss this one.
Ain't
I'm
no
telling you,
fifths.
you
and it's
don't want
gonna
to
be
miss
longer
this
than
one.
an hour. This is gonna
You
be
don't want to
much
miss
longer
this
than an
one.
hour
It's
show.
gonna be
I'm
incredible.
pretty sure.
G-Lew live on the Hookah Lounge next week. I'm gonna be here with the Angels. You dig? So make sure you tap in or tap out.
So G
That
Lou,
part. Yeah.
isn't tomorrow the 20th?
Yep. It'll
So
be out
does your
tomorrow night,
20
midnight.
Tomorrow
okay, yeah.
midnight.
Oh yeah, that's why it's 2020.
It was special like that. Nobody released albums really on that date, but I did it because it's special because it's 2020. So I had to do it.
Oh, we released books on the 20th,
Hey, well,
not
you know what I'm
albums.
saying? So yeah, it's 2020. I had to
On
do it. I had to
Sundays.
make it
We
that date.
release books on Sundays.
So
That's the
yeah,
biggest selling day.
that's rare on the music though. But I had
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make an exception. You feel me? Because it's 2020.
There is no albums on i on I
Yes, it
Don't
is.
music.
worry about
Yes,
it. It'll
it
be there. Don't
is.
worry about it. Making a special exception, midnight 2020. It'll be there Monday morning. If it ain't there that night, it'll be there Monday morning
Oh,
on your
she's
front
talking
on
about
your desk.
the
It'll be on your
council.
desk. Oh,
See, look,
it's there.
there it
Go
is
find
right
it.
there.
It's there. It's there.
Am I
It's there.
spelling it wrong? I am so retarded.
Yeah.
It's there. But
I've been
Megalicious, so
looking for this for like a
motherfucking
week.
vicious. What up, Meg? And all the ladies out there. Much love
Maggie
to you all.
Licious.
Shout out to the conversations in the Hookah Lounge apparel. Right here, we all got the
Oh,
shirts
we all
on.
got our shirts on
We
tonight.
got the calendar coming as
Hey.
well. You see, right there, G
Yeah,
Lou, and we
yeah.
got the calendar coming, Queen Jean, and all of that is
Y'all get
coming
ready to buy those
2021. So get
calendars.
ready for that. 2021 is coming. The conversations in the Hookah Lounge. We got the apparel, we got the pillows, we got shirts, we got pacifiers, coffee mugs. You know what I mean? Anything you want, we got it. You dig?
You
So
name
make
it,
sure you
we
take
got
tap
it.
Oh my
in.
God.
Yeah, make sure you
And we
take
got
tap in. We give you something to
pacifier.
suck on. You
I'm
feel
gonna
me?
have
Tap
pacifiers
in or
next
tap
week.
out.
You are
Conversation
so
Hookah Lounge
crazy.
every Saturday night, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern. If you ain't there, you a square. And you better
You are
stay
That
there.
part. That
Love y'all,
part.
my mama. We out.
peace and love.
Peace
Peace and
it.
love, y'all.
Peace. This is.